Broncos and guard Quinn Meinerz have agreed to a 4-year, $80 million extension. I always idolize Meinerz because he's a D3 product coming from a Division III school, Wisconsin Whitewater. And so for him to work his way up, he had a great senior day show out. Obviously, the Broncos took him, and man, he's worked his way up to $80 million contract. Matt, what are your thoughts on this?
This kid is a stud. I think he's one of the best run blocking guards in football. Quinn Meinerz is just a bad motherfucker. It's very rare to see somebody come out of, small ass Wisconsin Whitewater and go to the NFL, let alone earn an $80 million contract. So, he's famous for beating up trees and throwing around fucking stumps. And that's pretty much what he does in the NFL. He throws around dudes and he's like a stump. So it's a great addition by the Broncos to add to that offensive line. That is one high-priced offensive line, bro. And we're going to talk about this in a second, but they are not looked at very favorably around the league. The Broncos aren't. So that is one high-priced O-line, and I'd like to think that they're going to be pretty good up front, especially with all that money committed to it. So, everybody on that line, with the exception of the center, is making big-time fucking bucks. So Powers is $80 million. McGlinchey's big-time paid. I think he got 80 or 90. Bowles has been getting paid for years. And now, Quinn Meinerz now making $80 million. So I'd like to think that that's going to be the strength of their football team. And with all that money on deck for the Broncos, that needs to be, especially when they're going to be playing either Stidham or Bo Nix. So both of them are fucking pretty much rookies. Stidham hasn't really played much, and Bo Nix is a rookie. So, and with the Mile High Milk Hunter, he doesn't get to play. Like, fuck off with everybody. Oh, he's got a strong arm. Yeah, but he doesn't get to play, dog. If he plays, you might as well just fold this motherfucker, go for the number 1 pick, and draft Shador and start over. Because if Bo Nix can't beat out Wilson, I mean, what the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah, that to your point is a very big issue. If you draft him at 11, Sean Payton drafted him at 11. He said he saw something in him, right? If he couldn't start over Zach Wilson, and really struggled, from coming as a number 2 pick. I totally agree with you. It's a big issue in Denver. Let me ask you before we move on, do you see any offensive linemen coming out now in this year's this year headed into college football that are a good comparison to Meinerz? I think the kid from Oregon, Jackson Powers Johnson, may be a good comparison. He's reportedly playing guard for the Raiders. Anybody else see that way?
I mean, look, I don't really like to compare players that way for the simple fact that everybody's unique in their own regard. Okay. Quinn is very unique. He's not huge, but he's wide and he's stumpy, but he's really long in his arms. So, and he's really quick. He's got great foot speed and he's a finisher. So he's like a smaller version of Quentin Nelson a little bit in Indianapolis, but he's just a mean bastard. So, Quinn's kind of rewriting the book here on where you find offensive linemen. So he may be an enigma, but he also, offensive linemen sometimes take a while to develop. So, when you look deep in the trenches around the country, you can find really good players at smaller schools because sometimes the linemen take a little bit longer. But I will say this probably won't happen anymore because of the transfer portal and NIL. When you have a guy like this who's that good at Wisconsin Whitewater, well, now he's going to get in the portal and go get paid by somebody. If he has an NFL prospect, he'll go play at a higher level in order to maximize that. So I doubt you'll see a lot of this moving forward the more I think about it. So